Before we start, viewer discretion is strongly advised. This video is meant for educational and entertainment purposes only.
He would do a lot of foul shit, like behind the scenes, he would do some foul shit, like.
But I also did.
One person who was always anti-Diddy and was always speaking about Diddy as a problematic person was 50 Cent.
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
Puffy was playing with your booty in Miami.
What happens when a music mogul loses his grip on control? When a silent witness speaks and the industry's biggest open secret finally explodes in public? This week, inside a federal courtroom, we didn't just watch a trial. We watched the unraveling of Sean Diddy Combs. And when 50 Cent walked in, everything changed. Stay locked in. Because this story, it's not just about one man. It's about the system that protected him.
Now, Fifth, when you continuously call Puff gay, does that affect
No.
your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call him gay. I said.
Let me read it, Fifth.
Oh my God.
Sorry I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. Dinner Thieves in theaters January 9th.
That's why he says things. He doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he says something fabulous and he goes, "Yo, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party." What is he talking about? That's the kind of stuff that when people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago, at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of dude, you take me. That's what a guy says to a girl.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just, I know
He did it.
you've been heavy on social
No, he
media
did it.
talking about
He
it.
did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually. But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated.
Was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day?
I'm just not with all that 50 shit. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal.
It started with a parade of former insiders, people who had once worked in Diddy's world and were finally ready to talk. One witness was a former tour manager who said he once heard Diddy shouting at Cassie behind closed doors. When he came out, he punched a wall. Another was a former assistant who quit after being asked to track Cassie's whereabouts and report back hourly. The defense tried to block the testimonies, but the judge overruled, saying the evidence showed a pattern of behavior, and the jury, they were locked in. Juror number 7, a woman who hadn't shown emotion the entire trial, was suddenly leaning forward, scribbling notes like her life depended on it. Juror 11, who'd looked bored earlier in the week, now didn't blink once during the testimony. Diddy, on the other hand, he was cracking. He stopped taking notes. He started whispering, then muttering to his legal team. At one point, a courtroom sketch artist captured him with his head in his hands. This wasn't the polished executive who once ruled hip-hop. This was a man watching the power slip from his hands. Outside the courtroom, the fallout was swift and massive. 50 Cent gave a statement to reporters that blew up the internet. In less than 12 hours, over 60 million people saw the footage across Instagram, TikTok, and X. He backed Cassie publicly and said what everyone in the industry knew, but never said. The music biz protected men like Diddy for years. And just like that, the wall of silence cracked. Artists began distancing themselves fast. Usher, once Diddy's protege, unfollowed him on Instagram. Mary J. Blige deleted every photo of her and Diddy from her grid. Justin Bieber took it even further. He deleted old praise posts and dropped a cryptic story that read, "Sometimes we learn too late who people really are." In just one day, dozens of artists reacted. Cardi B posted, "Protect women, no matter how powerful the man is." Drake liked a tweet that said, "Real ones speak up, cowards stay quiet." Even outside music, celebs chimed in. Viola Davis, Gabrielle Union, and others shared messages of support for Cassie. But the most shocking voice, a producer who'd stayed anonymous for over a decade, suddenly posted, "I worked on 3 Diddy projects. I saw things. I kept quiet. Not anymore." By end of day, that one tweet had over 300,000 likes. Inside sources told Variety that executives at Revolt, Diddy's media company, were in emergency meetings. Advertisers were jumping ship. 2 sponsors pulled out of upcoming events instantly. One Revolt employee said, "Nobody wants to be the last one standing next to him when this all comes down." And through it all, 50 Cent kept posting.
And it turns out that it's just been announced that he's created a docu-series on Netflix. I can't wait to see this. The other end of that, every person who has tried to speak out about this, who has tried to speak out about the industry, the type of people that are controlling the industry, the attacks that people face from the media if they try to speak out, is always the same. They're called crazy. And an example of one such individual who went through those sorts of attacks is the actor Orlando Brown. He was on Disney, and I remember everyone telling us that he was totally insane and deranged when he was saying a lot of things that at the time sounded crazy, particularly about Diddy. Take a listen.
The requirement is you gotta say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he gonna get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
You can take the but he won't you.
Diddy, to me, is the fall guy. We are still seeing a major effort to protect the big names, just like with Jeffrey Epstein.
Tell him the story.
Tell him the story. So we talking about rumors, right?
Yeah.
And we, when you Google his name, there's a rumor that pops up that he was Diddy's boy toy.
Oh shit!
Right?
Wait, so this is
So Charlamagne said
It's not true, but I told
It's not
after
true.
he brought up the stuff with you, I said, you know what 50 gonna say when he meets you?
Oh no, I don't know that was going on.
You know,
I can't wait to run into him again.
what you gonna say to him, Phil?
Puffy was playing with your booty in Miami.
You know what 50 gonna say to you when he sees you.
What?
I heard Diddy touch your butt.
Yeah. Wait till I see him. Wait till I see him. I'm like, yo. Yeah.
What's happening with Puffy? I know you're not really tapped in, but what
The last thing I saw was like a guy there. He was like, yo, he like pushed me into the truck. It really hurt. And he sodomized me. Like he sodomized me. I was like, yo, look. I could find other things to do for money. He do a lot of foul shit. Like behind the scenes, he would do some foul shit. Like hating on, like doing things with people I'd done business with that he done business with. He would say shit that I was like, he said that to you?
Right.
I was like, yeah, so all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and niggas don't know what they like till they see somebody with it. So they want the girls after you're done with them and shit.
Yeah. Leftovers.
Yeah.
You take your leftovers. A lot of niggas have my leftovers.
Every post was calculated. One showed him and Cassie backstage years ago with the caption, "You always deserved better." Another, just 3 words. Yay 5, it starts here. The message was clear. This wasn't a drive-by statement. This was a war plan. And back in court, Cassie returned to the stand. This time, it wasn't just about what happened to her. She exposed the machine that made it possible. She called it troll architect. Her words, "My calendar was managed down to the hour. I couldn't book my own travel. If I was seen talking to another man, someone would pull me aside and remind me, 'Who made you?'" She described a moment in 2016 at an award show. She laughed at another artist's joke backstage. Diddy allegedly slapped the phone out of her hand. He said I was embarrassing him, that I didn't know how to act, that I needed to learn respect. Then came the moment that silenced the courtroom. Cassie played an audio recording, one never heard before. Diddy's voice rang out through the speakers. "Don't test me, Cass. You know what happens when you push me." Gasps. Silence. The judge had approved it. Cassie's team said they found it on an old iPad that synced to the cloud, forgotten until recently. The defense objected. Too late. Diddy turned pale. One of his lawyers whispered something, but Diddy didn't respond. He dropped his pen and stared at the speaker. The courtroom sketch artist caught it. Frozen, pale, broken. Even his biggest supporters in the gallery looked scared. The image of Diddy, composed, powerful, was gone. Cassie's second day on the stand proved it. This wasn't about a breakup. This was about unchecked power meeting consequences.
I was not offended by what I was offended by.
Wow, they found Kendrick and Whiteface.
That's obviously doing chopping. They got the same outfit.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's a nice shirt. Though. It's a nice shirt. All right, so when he said the shopping line in real life, what did you say?
I said, let me get away from him. Because it was like, he was like, yo, you hot now. Now we got to hang out now. Like, hang out.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know, maybe I take you shopping and I could just flash and you could give me the hood shit. And I was looking and I was like, let me just move away from him because I'm going to mess up the wedding. I always say to myself, like,
it was someone's wedding?
It was Chris Lighty's wedding. It was in Miami. Nori's there. Nori knows this because I looked at him like, yo.
Day 5 was already tense, but nobody was ready for what happened at 10:13 a.m. That's when 50 Cent walked into the courtroom, not with security, not through a side door, alone, in a black suit and dark shades. walking down the center aisle like it was a runway. He didn't speak, he didn't nod, but the room shifted. People sat up, phones came out. Reporters gave each other the wide-eyed look. Diddy saw him instantly. His jaw tightened, leaned forward, whispered, his fingers dug into the table. Even the prosecutor paused, letting the moment. Cassie glanced at 50 just once. No smile, no nod. But everyone saw it. The defense scrambled. Papers were passed. Diddy kept glancing back, clearly rattled. And 50, he sat still, arms folded.
I feel like all these years, you've been the only one calling this out.
I look like I've been the crazy guy for a long time.
They said you're a hater. They
You're
said
a
you're crazy.
hater. You're do this. Yeah, and now everybody's complaining. My ass is hurting. This all this shit is coming.
50, you can't make jokes about it.
No.
The internet might come for you, bro.
All I'm saying is,
it might come from
you see it now. All of these complaints. People were damned. They were and pillaged. This was what was going on, right? And what do I get for I went through years of a hater. You're a hater. You want this and that. I'm just watching. Like I look at things and go. When you see the new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay, I go, oh shoot, like. Then I think about it, I go, that had to be there. So when I was saying that he was missing, he just wasn't actively being out there because they was dealing with that.
Wait, do you think there's truth to the Jay thing? There's no way.
Know, like that. Look, like if you say, I have this thing where I'm conflicted when it takes you 20 years to remember something happened to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I go, oh, so 10 years, 20 years later, it comes back. And it's like all of Puff's problems are coming from the ministers touching little boys.
What you mean?
The laws are the way they are because
Because
of the priests.
The priests touching little boys.
Yeah.
Oh.
How much is this guy trying to get?
I don't know. Like it's a simple suit situation, but it's like
20 mil. I can say it.
You still have to black his face out.
Yes.
You still have to mimic his voice because he's like,
but his
damn.
voice wasn't even that different.
And a little deeper. I was like almost like, no, that's you, young buck.
Yo,
I almost felt like it was him. I almost knew who it was. You know what I mean? I was like, nah. You heard what he just said, right? He's like, yo, certain things they let it go by because it's Puff. Like they would look, like he would say stuff, and it's like he wasn't like in the closet, he was like in the hallway. Now you see so much shit that you go, wait. No, this was visible.
He was in the hallway. We saw the video.
You see
we saw that video.
It comes out later. You're like, that's not the closet. That's the hallway. He didn't give a fuck. Like you can tell that he was already.
Nah, New York is dope. Because when Fab, he was like, yo, Fab, we ain't party. Fab was like, nah, we partying tonight.
He's like, no, like, but he didn't party.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, they let that one go. Like, I had to say something about it later because I was like, oh, it was fair.
Then came the moment that broke the room. Cassie was testifying about a 2018 incident at Diddy's Miami estate. She said she was locked in a room for over a day after being caught talking to another executive. As she spoke, Diddy began to shake his head. Then came the whispers. Then came the leg bouncing. Then he snapped. That's not what happened. He slammed his palm on the table. The sound was like a gunshot. Everyone froze. Cassie didn't flinch. The judge raised her gavel. Mr. Combs, this is your only warning. One more outburst and you will be removed. But Diddy wasn't done. He locked eyes, not with Cassie, but with 50 Cent. You've been waiting for this, haven't you? You'll regret it. Security moved instantly. One guard stood between Diddy and the gallery, but 50 didn't move. He leaned back, crossed his leg, and stared. Cassie kept going, unshaken. The judge didn't call for recess. Instead, she looked Diddy dead in the eyes and said, "Control yourself, or I will." And that hit harder than any headline. After that, the courtroom was dead quiet. Even reporters didn't leave for bathroom breaks. Nobody wanted to miss what came next, because for the first time in decades, Diddy didn't seem untouchable. His outburst exposed something nobody had seen. Not in interviews, not in lawsuits, not even in rumors. This wasn't a mogul. This was a man falling apart. Meanwhile, 50 Cent becoming something else entirely. TMZ ran with it. 50 Cent stares down Diddy and Courtroom showdown. Old interviews resurfaced. 50 had warned about Diddy for years. A 2009 clip made the rounds. There's things about Puff that just don't sit right with me. That man got secrets. Now the secrets were crawling out. Diddy stayed silent for the rest of the day. His legal team whispered frantically between breaks. Cassie's attorneys smiling. The jury, locked in. One juror who had taken notes earlier now sat still, arms crossed, another scribbled like every word from Cassie was history. 50 Cent stayed in the back the entire day. Security asked if he was staying the whole time. He didn't answer. He didn't need to. That day wasn't just day 5 of a trial, it was the day the illusion shattered, the day Diddy lost control, and the day the music industry realized it's not business as usual anymore. Make sure to comment below. Do you think Diddy will make it through this? And do you believe more artists will step forward? Smash that like button if you think Cassie is brave for speaking her. And don't forget to subscribe for the latest on this unfolding story. This is Gossip Goblin, and we'll be right here watching the empire crumble.